Hey, what up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new segment slash show here on the channel. This is Phantom Frequency. Make sure you're clicking all the buttons below the video and showing that support for the channel. We appreciate each and every one of you watchers, each and every one of you subscribers. It really does mean the world to us. Click all those buttons, man. But this is a new show that we're doing, and this is going to cover just the world mostly of movies, TV, and anime in the world of news and things like that. Different, even if there's like trailers, different announcements or things that come up that we ended up missing throughout the week or anything that bubbles up throughout the week. We're going to collect them together and then go over some of the big news topics. Some of the shows might run a little bit longer than others, but generally this show is going to be on the slightly like kind of shorter, but not too long, usually around 20 to 30 some minutes. We're going to try to keep it around that. Maybe if there's like some really huge announcements or I have guests on this particular show, it might run a little bit longer, but generally this one's going to be around 25, 30 minutes, maybe a little bit less, just going over some of the bigger news topics of each and every week. So this should be dropping every weekend here on the channel, just going over all the different topics that were popping up in the world of movies and TV and anime and pop culture. This one's going to be more movies and TV focused, but I promise y'all I'm going to get some more anime news on here before we do some straight up reviews and things like that. But that stuff is coming up in the near future. I'm actually trying to plan some of that stuff out with my boy Drew and Solo and with my girl Steph as well. So we got some more anime content that I'd like to get to here on the channel. And we're going to be doing a lot more anime news on episodes 2 and moving forward. So make sure you guys come and tune in for that if you're into that side of the world of fandom. But we're definitely going to be covering all the big movie, TV topics and everything like that. Generally, every single one of these episodes, every single week. And then I'm going to be launching or relaunching my audio and music focused podcast called Phantom FM. That's going to be dropping within the next week or so. So make sure you keep your eyes peeled for that. I'll have links and everything here on the channel and some advertisements for that, but it's going to be audio only, no video. We're going to do some videos for some retro kind of album reviews and things like that, or even different tier rankings for musical artists. But generally, Phantom FM strictly going to be audio only. So if you want to get into more of the world of music and stuff like that, besides our videos, jump on over to our podcast feed and check out season 1. There was about 6 or 7 episodes I did of that, and then we're going to be launching season 2 of Phantom FM, much more segments, and eventually even higher production value as well, and things like that. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that. But now let's get into this thing. Let's stop beating around the bush. And on this episode, we do got some fun announcements that came out throughout the week in the world of horror. That is for sure. And I recently finally got a chance to catch up on Alien Romulus. And I didn't stay throughout the credits and anything because I didn't expect a post-credit scene for the film. And spoiler alert for my thoughts on that, but we do have a full-on spoiler review here on the channel. Make sure you click and check that out after this video. But I absolutely loved it. Had a few issues with it towards the end there, but overall, really dug this movie. Thought it was a fantastic Alien sequel and continuation of that universe. But since I didn't stay to the end of the credits, and for those of you that did, it ended up getting out there that Noah Hawley, the creator of Legion over on FX, is going to be doing his own Alien series. And now we know much more information about the premise as well, and a confirmation that it will be set on Earth. It's titled Alien Earth. And they just dropped a small teaser, not really showing too much, but I'll have it playing in the background here for you guys. And not a big reveal, as you see there on the video, just a xenomorph and Earth in the reflection, Alien Earth, coming in 2025. No exact release date yet for that, but it's going to be on FX and Hulu. Show ran and potentially written as well by Noah Hawley. I never watched a full-on series of Legion, but I did think that that was actually one of the few first things I saw Dan Stevens in as well, after I saw him in The Guest. And it's a really interesting show. I never fully got into it, but I might actually go back and check it out. And who knows, there might even be a review for that series here on the channel if I really dig it enough and want to do it around the time of this Alien Earth series. Because who the hell knows when we're going to get an X-Men series anytime soon. Hopefully we will in the Mutant Saga 2027, 2028, something like that. But it's going to be a while before we get mutants full on in the MCU with Secret Wars and past that here towards the tail end of Phase 6 and everything going on in the MCU. So it's going to be interesting to see if I get a chance to check out that Legion show. I'll let you guys know. I'm not the biggest Alien fan per se, so I'm not exactly sure what year this is going to be set in, how this could potentially tie in to the overall universe, because I know it's set in the distant future and goes even further on as the Alien sequels go along. And Alien Romulus, no spoilers, but does play into the continuity set up in the original 2 Alien films and potentially all of the other films for the most part as well. Who knows what director's cuts or whatever counts as canon? But overall, most of the Alien films, minus AVP, seem to be canon within the world of Alien Romulus, and seems to be like it might be canon within the realm of the show Alien Earth. So let me know what you think about that topic down below in the comments. Are you guys hyped for that show? I'm not necessarily hyped for it, but I am interested, and I'm definitely a lot more into Alien again. Finally, that they got the franchise back on track. I wasn't a huge Prometheus and Alien Covenant guy. Haven't finished Alien Covenant. Didn't really like Prometheus. I always dug the first two Alien films. Haven't seen Resurrection or Alien 3 yet. So my Alien knowledge is a bit more limited than others, but I was around for the first AVP. Did see that in the theaters and have that on VHS and everything like that. Me and my pops always got a kick out of that one growing up. Seen all the Predator films, much more into the Predator films personally, but I still love me some Alien when it's done right. So I'm interested. Where are you at with the show Alien Earth? And what'd you think about the teaser trailer? But now we're going to get into the next topic here. And Poltergeist is finally going to be getting a series here on Amazon Prime and MGM coming up either later this year or sometime in 2025. And they finally got the showrunners for this series. And I actually wasn't aware of this series coming out, but it's going to be coming out there. Never been the biggest fan of the original from 1982, but I do dig the film and think it's very effective for the most part, and just wish I saw it as a kid. I saw it in my late teens, early 20s. I think my late teens, like 19, maybe 20. So I didn't get necessarily as scared or get into the vibe of the movie, and it didn't necessarily stick with me in that way because I had seen The Conjuring, and I live in the age of when possession films are just like a dime a dozen. So it wasn't necessarily as impactful on me. And I'm just a desensitized horror fan and have been for damn near almost a decade since I've seen this original Poltergeist film. The remake is terrible. So I'm hoping this can be somewhere in the middle. And I never saw the sequels, but apparently the sequels aren't that great either. And there is a lot of mysticism and crazy stuff that's happened around the making of this film and everything, making of the original film, that is, and stuff like that. So the Poltergeist franchise does have its place in horror. Isn't necessarily one of the biggest franchises, but is definitely a franchise that exists out there and is one of the most influential possession horror films out there. And with it being PG and having that wide mainstream appeal, it got a lot of people growing up in Gen X and even some millennials to follow into the world of horror pre 2000. So it's definitely a really huge influential horror film within the genre. Just never been one of my personal favorites. But the two showrunners that they got to run this one, whether it goes into the continuity of the original or not, are Kalinda Vasquez and Robbie Thompson. Kalinda Vasquez, her credits include things like Fear the Walking Dead, and then Robbie Thompson, for those of you that might know, and this was actually my boy Michael's favorite TV series, Supernatural. He was one of the showrunners on that, if not the main guy. I'm not entirely sure. Not very knowledgeable about the show, but I love the two leads and really like those actors of Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles, who are both killing it and doing their own thing these days. Jensen Ackles, I think, a little bit more in the world of DC and the boys. But I digress. Poltergeist series is coming. There's not a ton of details that have been revealed about this one, so it's going to be very interesting to see what direction they're going with this. What's the tone going to be? Are they going to lean more into the TVMA R-rated, or are they going to pull back and go more into that PG, maybe a hard PG-13? Who the hell knows? But I want to know from you guys, are you excited for a Poltergeist series? Were you around for the original, or were you exposed to the remake before you even saw the original, or have you not seen a single Poltergeist film, or just none of the sequels like myself? Where's your hype level for it? Let me know down below. And as we get into this next subject here, we're going to stick into the world of horror one last time, and it's going to be my boy Jason. That's right, Friday the 13th. A24 has been working on a prequel series tentatively titled Friday the 13th. That's going to be apparently like some weird requel, prequel, sequel, weird thing mixed together, where I'm not sure if it's going to have its own continuity or not, or tie into another sequel or continuity, if you will, timeline. I don't think it's going to. I think it's going to go on its own thing outside of the remake and outside of the original 10 films, not including Freddy vs. Jason, of course, because I think that's kind of well, I guess it kind of ties up with the original continuity. So from everything from the OG to Freddy vs. Jason, this is a separate continuity from that or the remake, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm kind of hoping low-key that it's kind of a continuation of the remake and fleshes out the prequel element, because to me, that would be the better play. Oh, but yeah, to me, that would be the better play, because I think that 2009 Friday the 13th film was amazing. I saw it in the theater. It's not without its problems, but it definitely was a kick-ass Jason, a really good Friday the 13th film. If you just got a little bit more kills and Carnage Candy up in there, I think it would have been literally one of the all-time best Friday the 13th sequels, bar none, top 3. But I think it's still in the top 5, top 6, maybe even a 7 at worst. But for me, it's in the top 5 of the Friday the 13th franchise. I love it. And I would love for this prequel series to somehow tie into that, but there's no confirmation of it. But the real update here is after they got rid of the original showrunner that was going to be doing this, now they got this guy named Brad Caleb Kane that's going to be doing it. And his credits really only include It Welcome to Derry, which is a prequel series for obviously Pennywise and It chapters 1 and 2, the previous iteration done by damn, I'm forgetting that guy's name. But either way, done by the guy by the director of The Flash and the first 2 It films. He's going to be coming in and being somewhat involved in this prequel series for Pennywise. That I'm a little more trepidatious on, but luckily they got Bill Skarsgård involved. But apparently, whatever he's doing on that is apparently so impressive. They want to get him in and do our boy Jason and bring him back to Prime and maybe dive into a little bit of the Pamela Voorhees side of things. I've never been a huge fan of the original film. To be honest, I think it's a little slow and very padded and not necessarily as effective with the whodunit angle. But the Pamela Voorhees reveal is effective because of the performance of the actress there that just absolutely killed it and came in and kind of subverted expectations of people that were more familiar with her work in sitcoms and earlier things in the 50s and 60s or 60s and 70s. This was definitely a big step out of her comfort zone and a subversion within itself with her playing Pamela Voorhees, a mother that's also a serial killer in this movie or in that original movie was a really big deal. And if they can find some interesting element or some kind of dangling plot thread that's been in the franchise in some kind of way and been gestating for a while, and they found some really unique angle or take where they can blend these things in and give us Jason action in the present, flesh out some backstory, give us a slasher show that actually works a little bit more effectively than things like Chucky. If they're able to pull this off and do something really cool with it, and A24 can bring their brand of just creativity and the art house feel without getting too pretentious, this could be something really special. And although I would prefer a straight up Jason film like you see on the screen here, I'm still excited for it. I'm still going to be optimistic about it. It's better getting some kind of Friday the 13th official content outside of the amazing fan films that Womstomp and people like that have been doing. But I want something proper in the universe. They should still hire Victor DeSanti, by the way, to at least direct an episode or something of this. But come on, man, get him in there. But I'm still excited that Friday the 13th is coming back to some screen, whether it's small or big, in some fashion or form in the present. Freddy and Jason need to come back. Hashtag bring back Freddy and Jason. Let's fucking go. Let me know if you're excited about this show. I'm just generally cautiously optimistic, but still excited because I'm a Jason whore. You can't go wrong with putting out something Friday the 13th for your boy right here. So let me know if you're digging this, if you don't give a shit. Do you not like A24 taking over? I personally think it's a stroke of genius. Let me know down below. But now we're going to jump outside of the world of horror and we're going to jump into the MCU just for a little bit because we're getting into, that's right, RDJ himself finally breaks the silence and talking about his casting of Doctor Doom and a little bit of what they're doing and what they're trying to go for. And he is for sure playing Victor Von Doom, not a variant of Tony Stark. It is confirmed from the man's mouth and exact quotes. You can go and read them. I'm not necessarily going to read them to you right now, but he did speak on the fact that he's excited to work with the Russos again. And him and Kevin Feige have been working on this for well over a year. They approached him with bringing him back in this capacity. And apparently Kevin Feige's been wanting to move in this direction for a while after all the Kang insane craziness and controversy with the Jonathan Majors situation, which we won't dive deep into here, but we have discussed it on the channel before. And you can see a ton of people on YouTube doing it. So I don't necessarily need to add my 2 cents into there. But he's out. Dr. Doom's in. RDJ's cast to play Victor Von Doom officially, whether he's a variant of some sort or some kind of or the main version of Doom we're going to get going forward past Secret Wars. If he survives Secret Wars, who the hell knows? But it's good to know that they want to subvert expectations and exceed those and figure out a way to honor this new version and honor the classic comic book character of Victor Von Doom and not discredit the sacrifice of Tony Stark's character within the world of the MCU and the big impact that it's had culturally as a moment in film with a really iconic character. So they definitely want to try to find a way to avoid that and do something fresh and new and give RDJ a chance to flex those Oscar nominated and possibly winning, skills out there. Cause I'm not quite sure if he won the Oscar or not. You can let me know down below if he did. I can't quite remember. Didn't do the research before. I forgot. But either way, RDJ is an Oscar nominated actor one way or another, multiple times, possibly, I think, as well. And he's going to be stepping into this. And I think that he could do a good job. But I'm still very, very trepidatious about this because it's going to be really weird seeing him in this role outside of being Tony Stark, no matter what. And to me, it was a cool moment for Comic-Con. I'm sure it was epic to be there in person. But for me, it just rang as a little bit desperate and a little bit weird with this RDJ casting as Victor Von Doom. Now, are they going to keep him with the mask the whole time? Is he going to be scarred? Are we going to see his face a lot? Is he going to have any Tony Stark mannerisms or any of that personality? Or is it going to be a completely different thing with an accent? Who the hell knows? But I'm excited to see what RDJ is going to bring to the table. But I'm also worried that Marvel might be going in a super weird direction and not be going in the right way. I don't know, but I'm still wanting to hold out hope and give them a chance and wait until we get a trailer, wait till we see what's actually going on, wait and see what the confirmed story details are and how they're going to lead these next 2 to 3 or 4 Marvel films into Doomsday in May of 2026. It's going to be hella interesting to see where the hell we're going to be within a year and a half as Marvel fans. I don't know, but y'all let me know what you think about RDJ playing Victor Von Doom and not a Tony Stark variant. Let me know if you think that's the better way to go in the comments below. I'm not quite sure which way is the better way, but I think him playing Victor Von Doom straight up and not playing any version of Tony Stark or Iron Man than what we've seen before, hopefully will play out in a great way. But y'all let me know what you think about it down below and if you're on board with it. But now we're going to jump into a little bit of anime news, sort of, but not really. But it's the live action One Piece season 2 that's following up season 1 over there on Netflix, which was actually really fucking good, very solid. I think they got like 85 to 90% of the things right. But they got some great casting right here with my girl Katie Seagal from My Wife and Children or Married with Children, Sons of Anarchy, Shameless, tons of different shows and TV over the years. Katie Seagal is going to be playing Dr. Korea, my bad, in One Piece. She is that character that ties directly into Chopper in the Grand Line, Alabasta saga, playing in those first few arcs where they first start exploring the Grand Line and end up uh, running in the chopper and everything like that. And then also, as you see there on the left of your screen, if you're looking at this right now, Mark Herelick is also going to be playing Dr. Hitaluk. And for those of you that are a little bit uninitiated, let me go ahead and share my screen here. I don't know if it was sharing the screen or not, but we will find out after I'm done editing this thing. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Katie Seagal, and I think it's actually really good casting of her playing Dr. Korea because she has this really spunky attitude and almost plays like she has like this really like young and hip vibe for being an older woman. And don't let the picture fool you guys. She is 70 years old as of this year or last year, which is insane to me because she still looks amazing and just has aged gracefully and still can play those really badass roles. So I think she's definitely just like a super great fit to play this. I know a lot of people wanted Jamie Lee Curtis to do this, but I think Katie Seagal can be a little bit under the radar enough and isn't such a household name to every single person out there that's an anime fan or just a TV show fan or a mainstream kind of fan or something like that. I think people that are especially in the anime fandom and One Piece fandom will be very welcoming and can kind of, if she has the character down, they can just focus on that and not be like starstruck by having this huge iconic household name playing the character. They can just buy the character. Same thing with Mark Herelick and everything. He's the same way. He's not like this big name that everybody knows, but if you're really a big film or TV nerd, you might know. So I think these are great casting choices that go along with the other caliber of actors that we've had. Some recognizable, some not, as the Straw Hats and otherwise. So I think this is the direction they should keep going in, even for Ace, which they haven't revealed yet. But Ace will be in season 2. And they're doing all the Grand Line saga or like storyline type stuff, all those arcs leading up to Alabasta, but no, Alabasta are the ones that are going to be in season 2. So I can't wait to see them explore the Grand Line. Can't wait to see the different things that they're going to bring to this and where it's all going to go. But I think Katie Seagal and Mark Herelick are really good casting choices, especially Katie Seagal. But y'all let me know, all the One Piece fans, manga anime fans, let me know what you think about this live action show. Are you excited for season 2? And do you think these actors are great casting choices for these characters? Y'all let me know. And are they going to make Chopper CGI or someone with the puppet a la Grogu and CGI around it? I'm very curious to see. I think an animatronic or puppet will be the way to go. But y'all let me know what they're going to do and what you would like to see or prefer in those comments below. But now we're going to get to the last and the main topic of this one. The Acolyte has been canceled and is not getting a season 2. Now, for those that are unaware or maybe did not notice, I did not actually put up a full review of the show, but I did watch it. Just got a little bit too busy to get to the review and didn't think it was going to do as well, and all that. And the algorithm wasn't going to be as kind to it because nobody cared at this point. But I just want to get my 2 cents out about this because I'm glad of this cancellation, because Star Wars and Lucasfilm and all that dealing with Disney and everything concerned with that have been very lackluster overall for the most part for the past year or so. They are very much batting at 500 at best. One thing works, one thing doesn't, one thing works, one thing's disappointing. They're really all over the place with no clear vision or plan. And this show was just terribly executed almost all around. Almost every aspect of the show did not work to me. I didn't like the main characters of Osha and May. Didn't like the twin storyline at all. So many weird character decisions that made no sense. So many bad writing and logic issues within this show. It was just very disappointing to finally get something in the High Republic, no Skywalker era, finally set up some things that could come. The Rule of Two, Plagueis, leading into Palpatine, so many different directions and cool potential that was going into the show, and I was very much excited for it. Dug the trailers for the most part from what we saw, and I actually saw a clip of May fighting Carrie Ann Moss's character, who's in the show for like 2 seconds, and I thought that was very impressive. The hand-to-hand combat and the action, the lightsaber stuff, really dope in this show, but everything else just really did not come together and was very, very disappointing and very lackluster, and is one of the worst Star Wars projects in live action, in my personal opinion. So this cancellation neither comes as a surprise to me, but to me was the best decision. When they damn near put in 200 million on this show, didn't get any viewership, split the fan base, and didn't win anybody over in the mainstream, and completely went out of the conversation and was not in the hype train whatsoever. Nobody boarded the hype train much at all, and it did not reach general audiences at any of those stops. There was no hype on this show. I heard no Star Wars fans raving about this or ranting about this in public or anywhere outside of the internet, and a couple of my buddies that are into Star Wars. Literally talked to 2 people about this show out of dozens of people that I talk to and know and work with and things of that nature. No one else was mentioning or asking or raving about this show at all. Barely even saw people post about it. This was just a very, very big miss and isn't a surprise to me. And Star Wars needs to just do the last few projects they got coming between Skeleton Crew, Andor Season 2, and Mandalorian and Grogu in May of 2026. And then, of course, Andor Season 2 coming out next year. And then they got Skeleton Crew dropping maybe potentially all the episodes, or at least starting weekly on December 3rd of this year. After that, pump the brakes, figure out a vision, figure out what you're doing, Lucasfilm, because Star Wars is not in the glory days and is starting to just decline at a very big rate. At least the MCU has a general direction for where they're going. At least DC has a bright future and seems like they're starting to right the ship and have some kind of plan that James Gunn and Peter Safran are trying to put into effect, and hopefully will follow suit and things will come together within the next year or so. But Star Wars to me has no clear direction, only has a very few amount of projects on the horizon, and if any of those don't hit, I'm telling you, that's really bad, especially for Mandalorian and Grogu. For some reason, if it doesn't make a ton of money just off of Grogu's name alone and Baby Yoda selling the hell out of these tickets with a popcorn bucket and all that shit, that's the only way, unless the movie's really bad. I don't see this movie losing money unless it really goes up against really huge, stiff competition. But with it coming out in May of 2026, it could be going up against Avengers Doomsday, which I don't think is necessarily a smart decision, cannibalizing each other when you know Avengers is going to be more anticipated and probably turn out better too, and get much more legs on it after it premieres, just off the hype alone of RDJ as Doom and the Avengers as a brand right now. Much more popular than Star Wars, in my personal opinion, in this modern era, even though Star Wars used to be the fucking big kid on the block, used to be top dog. Now it's not. You know what I'm saying? And for me, they got a lot of work to do. But there's no Acolyte Season 2 going down. If some of y'all are disappointed, let me know. I definitely don't want to shit on anything just because I didn't like it. But if you dug it and wanted to see a Season 2 and are disappointed, Let me know if you're more on my side. I think that show was kind of just hot trash and really was just garbage. It wasn't really delivering. Let me know that as well. Or if you felt somewhere in between, it was a little more conflicted and a little bit more in the kind of lukewarm area, I would love to hear your perspective as well and all that. But that's pretty much going to do it here for this first episode of What's the Word. Just getting into some of the big topics and interesting things that I thought popped off this week and things like that. The only other thing I really thought of that we could have mentioned that I'll mention real quick here is that the My Hero Academia manga just ended. When you're talking about that world of things, Jujutsu Kaisen's about to end. I'm not really a big fan of that anime or series, but just throwing that out there. My Hero, haven't read all the manga, haven't seen caught up on the anime, but I've watched and read a lot of it. Seen pretty much everything leading up to the last season. I'm just behind on that. But My Hero manga, I've only read about the first maybe like 50 some to 100 some chapters and kind of fell off. But hopefully one day I'll have them on the shelf right there and I'll be able to read them all and catch up on all the anime. Is definitely on one of my biggest priority lists in the world of anime for sure, for sure. And I think Black Clover is getting ready to end its manga as well. So 3 of the biggest modern manga are coming to an end. Demon Slayer just had a movie and is blowing up. So anime is definitely popping off right now. If you want more of those anime topics, let me know. But I didn't see anything else too big outside of that. And yeah, so this is just something new we're trying on the channel. Something not too long, not too short, going over some big topics. Y'all let me know what you thought about this down below. Share it with your friends, family, coworkers, and all of that. Just make sure you got your earbuds on if you're at work, because this is not safe for work, because I cuss a hell of a lot. But until next time, guys, make sure you stay safe out there over this weekend. Take care, and I'm going to see you guys this coming week with some more dopeness here on the channel. Once again, I'm your host, Will. Thanks for sticking around to the end and checking this out in general. Much love, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side, all right? Peace.